Before we do this, I need to know your name.
Oh, that's sweet.
If you know a demon's name, you can control it.
Is that so?
That's what all the books say.
There's just one problem. It is written that no human tongue can pronounce a demon's name.
Try me.
All right. My name is Hoji.
Hoji.
But it's impossible. How did... You must be the one. The one that the prophecy spoke of.
Really? What else does the prophecy say?
Why, that the one will also believe any goddamn idiot thing you make up on the spot.
Get out of my car.
Hey guys, and welcome to the guide. In this episode, we're going to be talking about awesome, cheap video games. Guaranteed to be 90% awesome 100% of the time, and under $20. It's currently May 2016, and the PS4 and Xbox One generation of consoles are finally producing cheap video games that are awesome. So, the first one on the list is Shadow Warriors, which comes in at 18 bucks. Now, Shadow Warriors, along with like half of this list, was already out at the beginning of this current console cycle / generation, but that back then they cost $60, and that's not cheap. So now they finally dropped in price enough to be cheap and awesome all at the same time. I like Shadow Warriors. Originally I was gonna stick Wolfenstein in here, but Shadow Warriors has a sense of humor about it that I admire, personally. And it's a game that I don't have to think too much about. I can just run around, stab demons with my sword, and shoot demons with my guns, and that's good enough justification. It's not a very story-driven game, and it has a solid sense of humor about itself. Now, on the other side of the spectrum is Age Inquisition, which comes in at $19. Now, this was also a game that was around at the beginning of this cycle, but back then it was 60 bucks. Now it's finally $19, and $19 well spent. This game will keep you busy for a very, very long time. When I played it, I think I put like 50 or 60 hours into it, and I still didn't beat it. So it's a very long, big game that if you're one of those gamers that likes to invest a lot of hours into a video game, this is an excellent choice for you. I personally had a lot of fun in it. It's one of those games I want to go back and I want to beat, though I kind of doubt I don't think I'll actually go back and beat it, because I have this going on now, so now it's onwards and outwards now. But if you are a cheap video gamer like myself and haven't played this game, it's highly recommended, and I think you would enjoy it, because I did.
There isn't an advisor somewhere in Pagan's palace going, hey, Pagan, you know, the polls say that assassinations and fascism is okay, but, you know, the people of Kirat, they definitely draw the line at selling drugs. The last thing they want us to be is drug dealers. We'd lose our shot at the Nobel Peace Prize if they knew that we were moving those drugs. Then again, they did hand out one of those things to a guy who doles out drone strikes like they were going out of style. And yes, I'm not going to be subtle. I'm talking about you, President Obama, okay? I was rooting for you this whole time, and then you're going to just dish out drone strikes like crazy. And what are you going to do, come after me?
Next, coming in at the best price of all, which is free, is War Thunder. Now, this is a pretty cool game that lets you fly around in World War II aircraft, and it also lets you drive World War II tanks in a free-to-play model, which that kind of sucks. I hate the free-to-play model, but it's a cool game by itself. I just wish they would just have a regular game about it, but I get what they were doing with it, and I like this game quite a bit. It's hard because there are some dudes that have been playing this game for like 2 years, and they have some serious skill with it. But this is still a really fun game, and it's free, so everybody should at the very least check this game out, because flight sims are awesome, and they should come back. last but not least is Evolved, which has finally dropped down to $10, at least at my local GameStop, which is a great price for this game. Evolved is probably the game most responsible for getting people to convert over from their Xbox 360s and their PS3s to the current generation, the PS4s and the Xbox Ones, which, I don't know, people still call them the next gen, so we still call the current generation the next generation, which makes no sense, but you know, that's besides the point. But Evolved was a pretty awesome game. It kept me occupied for like 3 months. It's basic concept, but it's a basic concept that was executed very well, and it's a really fun game. And when you win as the monster, it's freaking awesome. But at the same time, if you're the hunters and you run into like a fucking badass monster, then that's not so awesome. But it's a pretty awesome game, and for $10, it's a no-brainer. Now, currently, you might have trouble finding good matches with this game, because I'm sure the player population has dropped dramatically. Like, when I stopped playing it, the player count was not very high. So that's kind of a downer, but the bots were always good in the game, at least in my experience, so that kind of makes up for it. But for $10, it's kind of hard to pass up, and it's one of those games I do kind of want to go back and play again, watching this footage. But yeah, those are my 5 awesome and cheap video games that I think people should play, because they're under $20. And under $20, you can't really go wrong with these games. Alright, thanks for watching.